morning, we are Group 1, and they are my team members. She is Zoe Wu, and she is Eileen Li, and I'm Sammy Li. Today our topic is convention planning. And here is our context. First, I will do the warming up with you, and then Zoe will explain the vocabulary that will show up in our following presentation. Next, Zoe and Eileen will play scenario 1. To continue, Eileen will do the discussion questions with you, and then Zoe will explain activity 1. And at last, I will introduce the topics of today's high-low context culture. And after the break time, Eileen will show you our inside story, and then all of us will come up to give you our feedback. Then I will invite all of you to come up here to give us some comments. Finally, I will announce the best commentators. If you look up convention this word in the dictionary, you will find out that it has very similar meaning with conference. It means a meeting that people do particular job and have similar interests. And conference also means a meeting, but it particularly lays in business professionals. Then I'm going to introduce the difference between them. First, convention is less formal and highlighted than conference. And the second one is convention is a place that allows the attendees to talk about their thoughts. On the other hand, a conference is a place for you to gain information, and you mainly listen to the speaker. The last one is volunteers take part in large members in convention. And in the conference, most of the participants are forced to go to. And here's a chart that shows their difference. First, convention is less formal, and conference is more formal. Second one is convention. Its key components is for people to discuss and share their thoughts. And conference is a place where you can gain knowledge. The last one is in the convention, most of the participants are volunteers, but in conference, most of the participants are forced to go to. Next, I would like to give the floor to Zoe. She will explain the vocabularies today.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Zoe Wu. Before we play the scenario part, there are some vocabulary you might not be familiar with. In the next 5 minutes, let me explain them to you and you can learn more details. The first one is relevant. Please repeat after me. Relevant. It's used to describe something connecting with what is happening or being discussed. For example, for further information, please refer to the relevant leaflets. Could you repeat the example?
For further information, please refer to the relevant leaflet.
The next one is loosen somebody up. Please repeat after me.
Loosen somebody up.
It means to make someone feel relaxed. For example, he seemed quite nervous at the beginning, but he soon loosened up.
He seemed quite nervous at the beginning, but he soon loosened up.
And there is a similar word, loosen something up. It means to, please repeat after me.
Loosen something up.
It means to prepare your muscles for a physical activity. For example, I do a few stretches to loosen up before I run.
I do a few stretches to loosen up before I run.
The next one is clue. The meaning is some information that can help you to find the answer. For example, I am never going to guess the answer if you don't give me a clue.
I'm never going to guess the answer if you don't give me a clue.
The next one is desperate.
Desperate.
It used to describe something. It is used to describe needing or wanting something very much. For example, the earthquake survivors are in desperate need of help.
The earthquake survivors are in desperate need of help.
The next one is concrete.
Concrete.
It used to describe something is certain or real in a form that can be seen or felt. For example, they think she killed her husband, but they have no concrete evidence.
They think they killed her husband, but they have no concrete evidence.
The next one is viable.
Viable.
It used to describe something is able to work. For example, I am afraid your plan is not financially viable.
I'm afraid your plan is not financially viable.
The next one is misery. It means the great unhappiness. For example, war brought misery to thousands of refugees.
War brought misery to thousands of refugees.
The next one is magnificent.
Magnificent.
It's used to describe something is very good or deserving to be admired. For example, he has a magnificent sense of humor.
He has a magnificent sense of humor.
The next one is rescue.
Rescue.
It can be verb or noun. The meanings are helping someone or something out of a dangerous situation. For example, I didn't know anybody at a party, but the hostess came to my rescue by introducing me to a few people.
I didn't know anybody at the party, but the hostess came to rescue by introducing me to a few people.
The next one is dash.
Dash.
It means to go somewhere quickly. For example, I must dash. I've got to be home by 7.
I must dash. I've got to be home by 7.
The next one is engage in.
Engage in.
It means take part in something. For example, the two governments have agreed to engage in a comprehensive dialogue to resolve the problem.
The two governments have agreed to engage in a comprehensive dialogue to resolve the problem.
And the next one is get somebody agree.
Give somebody a ring.
It means call to someone. For example, that's a great idea. I should give Lisa a ring right now.
That's a great idea. I should give Lisa a ring right now.
Now you know this vocabulary. In the next part, I and Eileen will have a short conversation. Please turn to page 62.
Hello, Zoe.
Hello, what have you been up to?
Sammy would like me to organize an international retailer convention. So in the past few weeks, I've been trying to collect relevant information on the internet in order to put my proposal together. It's been 3 weeks, but there's not much that's been done. I'm afraid that I may not be able to get the proposal finished in time. Maybe I'm just not productive enough.
Cheer up. We all get stuck and run out of ideas sometimes. It's just like a writer suffering from writer's block. Maybe you have been under too much pressure. You need to loosen up a bit. Try some relaxation exercises. Or just step out of the office and get some fresh air to refresh your mind.
I've tried all the things you just mentioned, but I still haven't got a clue where to start. I'm in desperate need of professional assistance. Would you like to give me a hand?
I'd love to, if I'm any good.
Of course you are good. You've always been the one who brings creative ideas for our team and know how to get those ideas transferred into concrete ones.
Thanks for your compliment. Well, I might have plenty of ideas, but I'm not sure how many of them are truly useful or viable. Have you asked Ellie for help yet? She has more than 10 years of experience in organizing international conventions. I think she is the one who can put your misery behind you.
You are right. I almost forgot Ellie's expertise lies in convention and event planning. What a magnificent idea. You are a genius. I should give Ellie a ring right now.
Maybe you should. I'm sure she will come to your rescue. Good luck.
Thanks a lot. Oh my god, it's almost 10 o'clock. I have a meeting with Sammy at 10. I will go to dish. See you later.
See you.
And this is the end of scenario 1. Let's go to the discussion questions. Please turn to page 65. There are 2 questions. Let's see the question 1. Question 1 is, have you ever organized a convention? What things do you think should be taken into account when organizing a convention? If your answer is no or I don't know, don't worry, there are 7 steps to help you. Let's see the first one. First one is why and what. You need to think why the convention is important to your attendees and what content you are going to deliver to them. Next is 3W1H. Who, where, when, and how many days. You have to think who should you invite, where should the convention be held, when should it be, and how many days will the convention be. Then is establishing the budget, like the cost of venue, audio equipment, and so on. You have to prepare perfectly to make sure the convention is smooth. The 4th step is recruiting speakers. You can use the own website, social channels, or email blast to find the right speakers. Then is send out the request for proposals. You have to send out at least 3. Make certain these supplies fit the bills for your convention. And the 6th step is inviting attendees. You can ask your speakers to share your post with the network or work with venue to promote your convention on their social channels and so on. The last step is work on sponsors and exhibitors. You have to let them know the attendees are in the terms of quality and quantity, and know the attendees are within the right target. Now you know all steps. Next time, when you organize a convention, just follow these 7 steps. You will have a successful convention. Alright, let's see the next question. Okay. The question 2. How important do you think teamwork is when playing a convention? Does anyone know the answer? Please raise your hand. Yes.
Make decision together.
Yes, make a decision. Make decision together. Okay, let's see all answers. As you can see, there are 5 points on the slide. Let's see the first one. The first one is understand the goal. When team members know their goal, they will dedicate to achieve them. It is essential for effective teamwork. Second is create a comfortable environment. It lets people take reasonable risks in communicating, advocating position, and taking action. Then its communication should be open, honest, and respectful. It lets people ask for questions for clarity and spend the soul time listening deeply. Then it's creativity, innovation, and different viewpoints. Each team member brings diverse needs to the effort to solve a problem, improve a process, reach a goal, and create something new and exciting. The last is make a high-quality decision together. Team members gain the support and commitment of the people they report to in order to accomplish and communicate the team's progress and success. Now you know the importance of the teamwork. However, if organizers do not engage in close teamwork, what can go wrong? I prepare a short dialogue. Please listen carefully.
Okay, now we're going to assign the jobs. Zoe is in charge of drawing up a budget and creating our marketing plans. And Eileen is in charge of preparations, like booking a center or inviting the speakers.
I don't agree. I'm an accountant. I'm not good at socializing with others.
And I am not expert in financial matters. You should switch our jobs.
I'm the one who's in charge here, so just do what I said.
That's crazy. I don't agree with this assignment.
I believe after a short dialogue, everyone knows when organizers do not engage in close teamwork, what things happen. This is the end of discussion questions. Do you have any questions? If not, I will give floor to Zoe. She will move on to activity 1.
Now I am going to talk about the activity part. Please turn to page 66. If we want to organize a successful convention, there is a major process of it. There are 4 steps of organizing a convention. First, before we prepare the convention, we should have basic concepts of the convention and establish meetings to discuss. Second, when we prepare the convention, we have to consider some important things. For example, make a comprehensive budget list and be careful when you choose the convention date and set the agenda. Also, having a well-known speaker is important. It can help to gain more attention and attract more attendees. Then market your event everywhere. Like you can market your event on newspapers, magazines, social media, and websites. And the last thing is to send the invitation letter to guests and attendees. Now let's move on to the step 3. Step 3 is on-site operation. We have to set the entry table part for guests and attendees. And in entry table part, let attendees drop business card off as a check-in option instead of having them fill out forms. It can avoid long lines. And the receptionist should be well trained. It can make attendees and guests feel unique and special. And the 4th stage is post-event. After the convention, we can send out the survey to attendees and guests and hold a meeting to evaluate our conventions. It can let us know what should be improved and do better next time. Now you know the features of a successful convention. Let's welcome Sammy to talk about the Hello Context culture.
The topic of today's Hello Context culture part is individualism and collectivism. And in individualism cultures, they focus on individual success and they only take care of themselves. Also, they express individual identity. You can see these cultural features in most of the Western countries, such as the United States. And the collectivism, they focus on group success and they take care of each others. And they try their best to fit in with the group. You can see these cultural features in most of the Eastern countries, like Japan or Taiwan. And then I'm going to show you a video that gives detailed information.
And here, back again at User Difference, the place to be if you want to take your culture awareness to the next level. So last week we talked about the Power Distance Index. This week we're talking about collectivism versus individualism. If you remember correctly, last week I was telling you how I was a walking contradiction and you had to listen to this. Well, here's how. I come from a collectivist background, and in collectivist societies, people tend to define success in everything in terms of group dynamics. So you hear things like, I'm a good son, we did this, we do that, it's all we. And that, this is often in cultures like Asian cultures, a lot of Asian cultures, a lot of African cultures, a lot of Latin American cultures. Contrast that with an individualistic society like the US and a lot of Western European countries, you find that the achievement is given more significance. So you were the first guy to do this. You got this as the richest person, and success is defined as something in terms of your rights and how you approach something. So I became this contradiction in the sense that my background there was always a lot of emphasis on being the one that respected the family name. You know, you couldn't be the Roxanne that didn't do something well. So everything that I did was monitored in the sense that I couldn't do things to shame the family. But as I started to get older, I started to really, find myself, and in the process of moving and going to all these countries, I got influenced. I was in an American international school. I started to do some individual things. I started to value achievement. I started to want to be the best at anything that I did. So it's always funny for me when I go back home. I always have that mental cultural shift in my head. All right, I've got to remember, this is not about me. This is about what we're doing here as a family. Go home, go say that, and this is the Roxanne. So, that's in essence how that contradiction comes into play. But as the world becomes more global and we become more globalized, how do you find, or how do you deal rather, with people that have different cultural frames of reference from you? Say you are someone from a collectivist background, how would you deal with someone from an individualistic background? If you're someone from a collective background and you're teaching a bunch of individualists, then you can start to create a situation where the first person to answer this question, or the person that gets the answer to the hardest question gets a certain amount of extra credit. If you're a teacher that was working with a bunch of collectivists, then you have to make it a situation where they come up with that group dynamic. So you set them up in groups, you ask them questions like, what did the group think of this? Why did the group respond to that answer? And that makes them more comfortable. This is often something that people in groups, especially as I've been in university here, it's always funny when I'm paired with people from different backgrounds and I see how they respond to group assignments, because some people dread it because they feel like the loudest voice is going to take credit for everything, and people, and sometimes that tends to look like the quiet person didn't do anything. So make that person in a collectivist environment feel like they were part of the bigger picture, and that's how you can get success. This is how you can negotiate with business. This is how you can interact with fellows and ladies from different backgrounds. Say you're in a business setting, you're in a meeting, and you're leading a bunch of collectivists. One thing you can do is make sure you have clear instructions ahead of time. So if you're going to call out people, you're going to ask out names and say, hey, I would like Tony or like Lily to say something. Make sure it's been stated beforehand that you're going to actually call them out. So it's not something that you'd say, who has an opinion on this, and no one responds, because that way they know what to expect, and it doesn't look like they're outshining someone else, or they're stepping up and going outside of someone of their comfort zone, really. So make sure you're very clear with instructions. Make sure you let them know what the clear path of the meeting is going to be and what to expect. That way they feel comfortable, and they can go out that meeting and feel like the group achieved something as a dynamic and as a goal. With individualists, it's this is very, very common in the Western culture. A lot of people that are not familiar with the Western culture sometimes, you've got things like sales quotas. In a sales environment, that's a subculture within any environment that encourages achievement, encourages rewards for getting that achievement, and also has people being recognized as, hey, Tony, once again as an example, was the highest selling salesperson this month, and last month it was Lily. That's a dynamic that's done. What happens though if you're in a sales environment and you're still in a collectivist culture? One thing that you can do is have sales teams, and that way a sales team wins versus a salesperson wins. So they're very, very subtle tricks that you can use between these environments. But one thing that I want to make clear is that there is not one society that's better than another. Japan, has a less individualistic mindset than America, but that doesn't mean they haven't achieved a lot of success. You know, and it doesn't matter. You know, same thing goes back and forth for several countries. You know, whether it's the northern, whether it's Scandinavian countries, or whether it's Brazil, or whether it's Nigeria or South Africa, they've all achieved success within that, within whatever function that they believe in. The one thing that you should take is learn how to communicate across this culture, as opposed to say your culture is better than that. Learn how to embrace, learn how to flex a certain muscle, and then invite that, as opposed to saying, I can't believe that you didn't recognize this person, or why do we have to wait for this whole group to work together? Okay? So, are you an individualist? Or are you a collectivist? I'd like to know. And if you are, a mix of both, please let me know as well, because I often have to flex both muscles, and I'm always curious to meet fellow people who've had to do that all their lives. So
after the high-low context cultural part, we would like to give you 10 minutes break.
That's our inside story.
You want to break after their comments? Okay.
Let's welcome group to give our comments.
Hello everyone, we are Group 2 and I'm Kelly Joshi. She's my team member, Tsailing Liang. And today we are going to give the comments to Group 1. And we divided our comments into 3 parts. First, I am in charge of their PowerPoint design and their personal performance. And then Sally will focus on their content. So let's get started. First of all, in their PowerPoint part, I think they have a well organized. They put the pictures, the part of speech, and can and not in their PowerPoint, and they use different colors to highlight the definition, the part of speech, and the example. I think it is very comprehensive. And in their personal performance, I think Sammy, she is very confident as usual. She speaks very fluently, and she has a strong eye contact to the audience. And the next is Loy. When she introduced the vocabulary part, she used her own word instead of just reading a PowerPoint. And the most important is that she remembered all the lines. And the last one is Eileen. She became more stable than before, and this time she looks more confident, and I think she used pauses very appropriately. And so this is the end of my comment. Next, I will give the floor to Sally.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Tsailing Liang. Now I will focus on Group 1's content. From there today's presentation, I think they give us a lot of information which are detailed and useful. For example, I know what is a convention and know how to plan it successfully and the importance of the teamwork. I think it is good that they use the diagram to show the points of each topic. And in the high-low contest part, I learned the difference of the individualism and the collectivism. In conclusion, I think they really put a lot of effort into today's presentations. They not only make a well-organized slide and also prepare a lot of useful information today. And this is our comments. Now I will give the floor to the Group 3.
Do you need to take a break or do you want to continue? It's your call. You can make the decision. Where is Group 2? Group 3. So Yan is absent today. Is she alright?
Good morning, everyone. We are Group 3. I am Dora Dang and she's Sharon Zhang Yanning. And we divide our comment into two parts. First, I'm going to talk about their warming up section and discussion part, and then Sharon will continue to focus on their vocabulary part and activity 1. So let's start with my part. First, I would like to say that convention is a new word for me. I've never heard this word before, so today I learned a lot from Group 1's presentation. Like the difference between convention and the conference. Conference is more formal than convention, and the participant of convention is volunteered, but the participant of conference is forced to go, and convention is the place to share ideas and discuss, but conference is the place to gain knowledge. So that's what I learned with the convention, this word. And with the discussion part, I also learned that how a team, what important thing a team can do to make a successful convention. Like all the team members should understand their goal and create a comfortable environment. And at the end, they should make a decision together. So this is the end of my part. Next, I would like to give the floor to Sharon.
Good morning, I'm Sharon Zhang Yanning. Today I will focus on the vocabulary part and activity 1. First, to start with the vocabulary part, Zoe told us some important and useful phrasal verb. For example, the first one is loosen somebody up, which means you make somebody become relaxed. And the second one is loosen something up, which means you prepare your muscles before you do the exercise. The third one is engage in, which means take part in something. And the finally is give somebody a ring, means you call somebody. I think Zoe put a lot of efforts in this part because when she talked about the vocabulary, she always faced to the audience and talked confidently and didn't miss any lines. And I appreciate her presentation.
To continue, when she talked about the activity part, she also told us the 4 steps to make a successful convention, which include the first one, planning. In this part, you need to have the basic idea of the convention. Second, preparation. And third is on-site operation. In this part, you need to do the registration and find a well-trained receptionist. The final step is post-event. In this part, you will send out the survey, and according to the survey, you can evaluate your event. All in all, I think Group 1 did a wonderful presentation because they need to prepare this presentation during the winter break. So I think they put a lot of effort on this, and this is the end of our comments. Next, I will give the floor to Group 4. Thank you.
Good morning, we are Group 4. I'm Catherine Xu-Yaju, and these are my team members, Judy Guo Huiyu and Juju Chen Pingqi. Today we are going to divide our comments into 3 parts. I'm in charge of Zoe's part, and Judy's will focus on Eileen's part. And finally, Juju will talk about Sammy's part and give a brief conclusion. And now I would like to start with Zoe's part. And today Zoe was in charge of vocabulary part and the activity part. And in the vocabulary part, I think she really puts a lot of effort because she had to remember many meanings and sentence of the vocabulary, and she didn't miss any lines. And also, she always used her own words to explain the meaning so that we can understand it more clearly. And when she talks about the activity, she told us many tips to organize a successful convention. And she divided this part into 4 parts, which is planning, preparation, on-site operation, and post-event. Then she gave us more details about these 4 parts, which that we can choose the dates wisely and we can set a comprehensive budget and agenda. And when after the convention, we could send a survey to the attendees to evaluate this event, then we can do best next time. And in conclusion, I think she did a great job. And in her presentation, we learned many useful tips to organize a successful convention. And this is the end of my comment, and I would like to give the floor to Judy.
Good morning, I'm Judy Guo Huiyu. I'm going to give the comments on Eileen's part. I think she did very well in today's presentation. First, in scenario 1, although her lines are very long, she didn't forget anything and presented the conversation very smoothly. Second, in discussion question, she teach us how to organize a convention and tell us the importance of teamwork. And I want to talk about the 7 steps about how to organize a convention. First, decide what meeting you're going to organize and the purpose of the meeting. Second, decide who, when, where, how many days about the meeting. Third, establish a budget. Fourth, recruit speakers. Next one is to send out the request for proposals. Sixth, invite attendees. And the last one is work on sponsors and exhibitors. And I think these steps are very useful. So this is the end of my comments. I'm going to give the floor to Gigi.
Hello everyone, I'm Gigi. I'm going to focus on Sammy's part. In today's presentation, Sammy in charge of warming up and high-low contest culture. In warming up, I think Sammy did a good job because she talked about the difference between convention and conference vividly. For example, she told us convention is less formal than conference, and we can share and discuss the idea in convention, and in the conference we can get more knowledge about some particle field. And last difference is about attendance. When you go to a convention, the attendance is about volunteer, and in conference, the attendance is about participant. And in addition, I think Sammy did a good job in the high-low context culture part, because before they show the video to us, they list the key points. I think this is a good way for audience, because sometimes some video may be too fast to let the audience know what the key points you want them to know clearly. So therefore, if you point out the key point first, then audience can know what you want to express clearly. So I think they really did a good job. In conclusion, we really learned a lot from their presentation. So let's give them a big hand. So this is our group comments. Next, I will give the floor to group 5.
Hello, we are group 5. I'm Anna. They are my team members. This is Quina and Cindy. First, I will talk about the Sammy's part. Next, Quina will give her feedback to Eileen's part. Finally, Cindy will give some comment to Zoe's part. First, at the beginning, Sammy gave us the clear procedure of their presentation. She did a great job. In the high and low context part, she mentioned the difference between individualism and collectivism. I suddenly realized that I'm a typical collectivist. In my previous writing class, you can find many we in my articles. I always write, we should do something, or we need to avoid something, we can do something. So I think it's very interesting. Moreover, the PowerPoint is made by Sammy. She also did a great job. She put many pictures that fit in well with their contents. And they also very considerate. I found that they provide common and useful phrases that is related to that vocabulary on the left bottom corner. It's very great also. And next, I will give the floor to Quina. She will tell you more about Eileen's part.
Good morning, my name is Liao Ziting Quina. Now I'm going to focus on Eileen's stage performance and content. In today's presentation, Eileen showed much more confidence than before, and she seemed not nervous at all this time. She also maintained good eye contact with the audience. As for the content, Eileen told us about the importance of teamwork. First, we should know our goals clearly and create comfortable environment together. Also, we should have creativity and accept other different viewpoints. So in the end, we can make decisions together smoothly. In today's presentation, I did learn a lot about organizing a convention and the importance of teamwork from Eileen's informative speech. Now, that is all about my comment on Eileen's stage performance and content. Now I'm going to give my floor to Cindy Wenminghui.
Hello everyone, I'm Cindy Wenminghui. I'm going to talk about Zoe's part. And in this presentation, she is in charge of vocabulary and scenario. In the vocabulary part, she put very cute pictures on the PowerPoint to impress us and help us to remember the vocabulary quickly. And she explained every vocabulary very clearly, like Relevant is means connect with something which is discussing about and loosen somebody up. This means let somebody relax. And in the scenario part, she remembered every lines and I admire her very much. And she also changed her intonation to make the scenario more vivid. And in conclusion, we think Group 1 did a very great job. And next, I'll give the floor to Group 6.
They are my team members, Cherry Xiaoyinjie and Sunny Xie. Today, our comment divided into 3 parts. First, I'm in charge of Loi's part, and second, Cherry, she will going to talk about Sammy's part. And finally, Sunny will focus on Eileen's part. And let's beginning of Loi's part. First, I think Loi is well prepared in this presentation today. Because in the vocabulary part, she never forget her lines and speak fluently. And I noticed that she used different color, their definition, vocabulary, and sentence. And second, Loi she also teach her 4 stages of successful convention, which is planning, preparation, on-site preparation, and post-event. In the future, I think if we follow these 4 stages, we can have a wonderful convention. And in conclusion, I think Loi, she made a progress today because this is her 3rd time presentation in this semester, and she become confident in this time. And this is the end of my comment. Now I've given the floor to Cherry.
Hello everyone, I'm Cherry, Xiaoying Jie. I'm going to talk about Sammy's part. I think in the beginning of the presentation, she gave us a clear introduction. She mentioned the difference between convention and the conference. She made the table to list the difference. It's I think it's very simple and easy to understand. And the high and low context culture part, she also used the table to list the different features between collectivism and individualism. And I think she chose a great videos because the examples are used well in it. And that's all my comments. Now I will give the floor to Sunny.
Good morning, I'm Sunny Xie. Now I'm in charge of Eileen's part. Although she was very nervous in her performance, she spoke very fluently and used some gestures naturally. I learned a lot from her parts, especially the importance of teamwork. We should understand a goal, make a decision, and create a comfortable environment together. Moreover, it is also important to be respectful, honest, and communicative to the group members. Therefore, I think they all did a great job. And this is all about my comments. Next, I'll give the floor to Group 7.
Hello everyone, we're Group 7. I'm Ali Ranting. They are my group members. She is Fanny Wang Fangyu. He is Jay Zhongbojie. Today our comments will be divided into 3 parts. First, I will talk about their discussion question part. Fanny will focus on their personal performance. Then Jay will be in charge of their one-on part. Firstly, in the discussion question part, this group clearly introduced 7 important
things what an organizer need to do. For example, an organizer need to know why we hold a convention, when we hold a convention, and how many days the convention will be held, as well as the organizer also need to know how to plan and send out the request for proposal and how to politely invite attendees. This group clearly let us know what things an organizer need to do, and also especially they gave us short but interesting conversation to make us realize how important an organizer is. We think this group really did very well and really put a lot of effort in the presentation. This is the end of my comments. Now I would like to give my floor to Fanny.
Hello everyone, I'm Fanny Wang Fangyu. Now I'm going to talk about their stage performance. First, Sammy is as good as last semester. She speaks fluently and smoothly and feel very confident. And I think she's very professional today. And second, in today's presentation, Zoe did a great job. And she seldom look at the PPT. No matter how long the sentence is, she can speak fluently. So I admire her a lot. And last, Eileen used to laugh often last semester, but now she doesn't. She feels more confident today. So I think she's improved a lot. So this is the end of my comment. Now I'll give the floor to Jay.
Hello everyone, I'm Jay Chongbo-Jie, and I divided my comment into two parts. First, I'm going to talk about their introduction, and then I will talk about their warming up. First, in their introduction, I can see their PPT are quite organized and very clear. The words in their PPT are big enough to read. In their content, each item was used in different colors, which let me easily know their agenda. In their warming up, I think they really done a great job. They give us the quite comprehensive explanation between convention and conference. For example, they told us the conventions are less formal than conference, and their entities are lessening sharing their information and discussing. In contrast, the entities in conference are just listening to the speaker. I think this is a new information to me, and I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to learn those information. And in the end, I have to sum up our comments. First, Eddie talked about discussion version and stage performance, and I talk about their introduction and warming up. And overall, we think they really did a great job. And this is the end of comments. Now I'm giving the floor to Group 8.
Hello everyone, we are Group 8 and I am Luna Chen Youxuan and she is my team member Ian Chen Yian. So today is our first time here. Nice to meet you everyone. Nice to meet you. And we divided our comment to two parts. I will do the first part. In my part, I will talk about their stage performance, and second, I will talk about their PPT, and third, I will talk about the high and low contest. Yes. So first at all, I would like to appreciate our three excellent presenters. I really enjoyed their presentation. And first at all, because they speak very fluent English and their pronunciation is very clear to hear. And second, I would like to talk about their because although I can think they are a little bit nervous, but they speak with their confidence to hide their nervous. And also I would like to talk about their presentation transition, because I think they're doing very well on their presentation transition. Yes. And next part, I would like to talk about their PPT. Their PPT, the words on their PPT is big enough to be seen and also well organized to be understand, because although I don't have the textbook, but I can follow their contest very clearly and understand what they are going to talk about. And the final part is about their about their high and low contest. I think it's very good to use the video to experience example, because I don't know high and low contest, but I think that it's very good to use the video to present it. And that's all my comments here, and I would like to give my floor to our team member. Ian, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Ian Chen Yan, and we'll focus on the part of the vocabulary. And I think the speaker is very impressive because she remembered the whole lines of the vocabulary, and she never see the script, and she speak very fluency, and the introduce of the word is very easy to understand the word, and it's especially the example is very useful to remember the words. So I think she is very good, and because we don't have the book, so we can't very understand the whole presentation. But at the moment they speak the presentation, we can very easy to understand the whole article, and make people interested in the presentation. And I think that video can help people to more focus on the presentation. So that's a very good video. So this is my part. And I think their conclusion is and I think their presentation is very had organized very well. So it's a good presentation. Thank you.
It's our feedback. It's our feedback time. I really I very appreciate our team members' help. Like Sammy will check my grammar, Zoe will help to organize the content or give me some great evidence. Advice. So I really glad that I can work with two of us. Thanks. I will give floor to Sammy.
Hi, I'm Sammy Diponti. This is my first time to work with Eileen and Zoe. And I have an internship at the winter vacation, so I was very tired every day. So they did most of the typing works, and you can see that they remember all the lines. So I really appreciate to work with them. They really help me a lot. And I'm going to give the floor to Zoe.
I'm Zoe Wu. This is my first time to work with them in this class, and I think they are good members and responsible for this presentation. In the winter vacation, we didn't have much time to discuss face to face. We used line to communicate with each other, and I think they did a very good job. And this is the end of our feedback. And please give us 5 minutes to discuss the best content. Okay.
Now we are going to announce the best commentators. Is Group 4. Because they remember most of our contents and they notice lots of details. That's the reason why we chose them.
Hello, we are Group 4. I'm Catherine Xuaju. These are my team members, Judy Guohuiyu and Juju Chengpingqi. Today, we're going to divide our comments into 3 parts. First, I will talk about Zoe's part, and Judy will focus on Eileen's part, and finally, Gigi will focus on Sammy's part and give us a brief conclusion. And now I'm going to talk about Zoe's presentation. Today, she was in charge of vocabulary part and activity part. And in the vocabulary part, I think she really put a lot of efforts because she had many vocabularies and meanings and a sentence to remember, but she didn't miss any lines. And in addition, she always used her own words to explain the meaning so that we can understand it more clearly. And in the activity part, she talked about how to organize a successful convention, and she divided into 4 parts, which is planning, preparation, on-site operation, and post-events. Then she gave us more further details about these 4 parts, which, for example, choose the date wisely, set a comprehensive budget and agenda, and send a survey to the attendees to evaluate the event that we can do better next time. And in conclusion, I think she really did a good job
In her presentation, we learned many useful tips to organize a successful convention. And now I would like to give the floor to Judy.
Good morning, I'm Judy Guohui. I'm going to give my comments on Eileen Park. I think she did very well in today's presentation. First, in scenario 1, although her lines are very long, she didn't forget anything and present the conversation very smoothly. Second, in discussion question, she taught us how to organize a convention and tell us the importance of teamwork. And I want to talk about 7 steps about how to organize a convention. First, decide what meeting you're going to organize and the purpose of the meeting. Second, decide who, when, where, how many days about the meeting. Third, establish a budget. Fourth, recruit speakers. And next one is to send out the request for proposals. Sixth, invite attendees. And the last one is to work on sponsors and exhibitors. And I think this is very useful. So this is the end of my comments. I'm going to give the floor to Gigi.
Hello everyone, I'm Gigi. I'm going to focus on Sammy's part. In this presentation, she in charge of warming up and high-low contest culture. In warming up, Sammy talked about the difference between conventions and conference. And after her presentation, after she talked about the difference, I can know these 2 words clearly. For example, she talked about the convention is less formal than conference, and when we go to convention, we can discuss and share ideas, and go to the conference we can gain knowledge. And the last difference is about attendees. When we go to the conventions, the attendees is about volunteers, and in contrast, when we go to the conference, the attendees is about participants. And in the high-low contest part, high-low contest culture part, I think Sammy did a good job because when before they show the video, they point out the key point. I think it is good for audience because sometimes some video may be too fast to let the audience know what you want to express. Therefore, if you show the key points before you show audience the video, then the audience can know what you want to express clearly. So we think they did a very good job. In conclusion, we really learned a lot from their presentation. So give me a good, This is our group comments. I will give the floor back to group 1. Very good.
This is the end of our presentation.
Please make a formal ending.
This is the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Bravo. Any questions for today's lesson?